Hello, and a very warm welcome to one and all present here. I am Lakshya Mittal, your host for the today, Connecting Life from India, and I am very excited to host today's masterclass brought to you by Recurrent. Our vision at Recurrent is pretty simple. Okay, we would love to onboard a million of enthusiastic users to the Web3 revolution, and that is why we bring to you this one of a kind masterclass series called Deeping Dive into Web3. The world is certainly heading towards a more connected and intertwined ecosystem. And as time passes, be it any field of finance, gaming, or assets, everything is coming together to bring in more innovative products and projects for the betterment of the society. And this is where Web3 comes in. Web3 is all about building communities through the power of blockchain, technology, decentralization, and the secret sauce. That's you. It is that time that you, me, and the world around us deep dive into Web3 to bring amazing changes. But before we get started with what our masterclass is about today and who we have brought to discuss today's topic, let me give you a sneak peek at what we do at Recurrent. At Recurrent, we simply help blockchain companies hire through events and exclusive communities like these. So, for anyone who wishes to be a part of this transparent, efficient, and autonomous ecosystem of Web3, this is where Recurrent steps in. Recurrent basically helps attendees of events discover Web3 opportunities in professional events like these. And industries like agriculture, gaming, assets, identity management, supply chain, all that are somewhere related to Web3 or blockchain can basically use our product and be of great use to increase their communities and also hire great talent. Simply put, Recurrent connects Web3 professionals to Web3 companies through Web3 events and communities. Today, we have 75 plus companies offering a plethora of opportunities to all of you. We're also providing NFT minted certificates so that you can take a memory, a small memory from this particular event back. So please start sending, in like connecting your wallet addresses. And if you're watching this particular stream from anywhere online, okay, let it be YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, or Facebook, okay, jump to the Recurrent product, okay, connect your wallet, log in, register, and then claim your co-op NFT simply. Moving ahead, today's event. Today's event will be a fireside chat with a person who certainly always brings charm and charisma of a different aura. And, I would say a great amount of energy when you talk to him. I've spoken to this person like quite a few times, and every time that when I speak to him, there's a different kind of energy that I get where I feel I have to do something, I have to achieve something, right? And this is where, this person comes in for me, honestly. In the Web3 space, he is an advisor to a lot of companies. He himself has founded a few good and great companies in the blockchain space, and is working with the government and many other big institutions to increase the mapping and mass adoption of blockchain technology across the world. But let me give him the chance to introduce himself on a more detailed and more perspectively based no let him basically tell us about what he has been doing and how he has been basically changing the environment around us in blockchain. So let's welcome Raj Kapoor sir on the screen.
Thank you, Lakshya. Very nice to be with you. And I think you're doing a great job for the industry as well, getting people more aware of Web3. I think that's equally critical. While we do our bit, I'm sure youngsters like you are doing your bit, and that I think makes a great combination. Okay, a little bit about myself, guys.
Right.
Yes, so my name is Raj Kapoor, as Lakshya has already introduced you, and I'm the founder of the India Blockchain Alliance as well as the Blockchain Governing Council. Now, the Blockchain Governance Council is a new initiative which we've taken, especially because now there are so many things happening. We're talking about Web3, we talk about the NFTs, we talk about the metaverse, we talk about DeFi, a lot of things, right? Now, the key problems we're trying to address is standards, rules, regulations, compliances, because that I think is the most critical aspect. If you don't have these, you are going to suffer, and the technology is going to suffer. So, one of the things we just started is that. But let's take back a little bit. I started my journey way back in 2010. In fact, yesterday, that is 19th of December 2022, I completed 12 years in this space. I was a
Oh wow.
yeah, I was a minor way back in the United States.
Okay.
And yeah, well, I was a miner. I used to do trading. I used to do everything, but not nothing to do with blockchain. In my mind, I didn't know there was blockchain. I knew there was this Bitcoin and runs on a platform. But Bitcoin did teach me the technology that's blockchain. So as I said, I started with my mining. By the way, I mined about 612 coins in my life. That's a lot of coins. Yeah. But that was fun. And it helped me
Okay.
understand the technology. It helped me understand the technology because I went deep dive into understanding how the technology works. Why is it called an institutional technology, not just an information technology? And what it could have, the ramifications, the implications for the future. And that's when I said, well, blockchain is it. So while crypto was speculation, blockchain is a revolution. So I always say my journey starts from speculation to revolution.
Okay.
That I think is be critical. In between, of course, I did a lot of work at Ethereum. I did with Hyperledger, with MIT Labs. Did a lot of work, yes. Set up in 2018 in India with the idea of making Indians understand that I Bitcoin blockchain nahi hai, blockchain Bitcoin nahi. Everybody asked me
Right.
this initially. Now also they are still asking, in spite of having been doing that for 4 years. But that's okay. That is India, the large country. The awareness is just about coming, and just as awareness starts coming about crypto, comes NFT. Awareness comes about NFT, comes DeFi, then comes Web3. It's moving very rapidly. And I think one of the key things which we're trying to do is bring all these things in a little box and make people understand, guys, just understand that fundamental technology, everything else becomes relatively easy. So now, after about 12 years, during the journey, we are working in about 14 countries right across. We are working with, I'm on the advisory board of more than 50 startups, Web3
Right.
startups globally. I work with many state governments, central government. I'm an advisor to the central government also on the crypto policy, by the way. So that's one. And I'm also doing a lot of work I've done a lot of work with the governments in Nigeria, including the world's first CBDC project, which was launched by the government of Nigeria in 2021, October last year. So
Okay.
I was part of the task force. Not I was not alone, obviously. There's a whole team. I was part of the international task force, which actually got that answer. That's something which we are pretty very happy about. We've got our Indian flags flying very high in many places. Now we're working with the Jamaican government, working with the Georgian government. Well, we're working with the Sri Lankan also, but then the Sri Lankan government unfortunately got overthrown. So we have to still re-establish contact once again there. But like that, working in Vietnam, Indonesia, Philippines, South Korea, having a great time. So that's me, and wonderful to be on the show with Lakshya. And Lakshya,
Definitely.
I'm passing the ball back to you now.
Right. So, Raj, sir, like how I see it, it has been like almost a journey of a decade that you have seen in the whole blockchain space. I won't want to, tag it as crypto, NFT, or because these are basically use cases, right?
Yes,
Like that
absolutely.
is how it basically started, right? But talking about the whole 12-year journey that you have had here, okay, what is the biggest amount of like shift, or like something which you have seen that has always sustained in the whole 12 years?
Well, first of all, we can say that Bitcoin has sustained for 12 years. That's for sure. It's still around.
Okay.
Okay, that's one
Yeah.
part of it. That's because it runs on a technology which is a very sustainable technology. That is blockchain. Now,
Correct.
uh, I also note one thing, Lakshya. During these 12 years, it has not been an easy journey for me or anybody else who's been in this space.
Okay.
Today we get a lot of a lot of people speak to us, talk to us, invite us, blah blah blah. But till about 5 years back, nobody
Right.
even wanted to attempt doing any real good projects on the blockchain. Why?
Okay.
No use cases. We don't know what it is. We don't know. It's a community based thing. Will the community suddenly decide to back off, not take it forward, so on and so forth? I think that has now shifted. That little bit of maturity has come within the technology, and people trust
Correct.
the technology much, much more. And therefore, in the last 3 years, there has been a major uptick in enterprise blockchain. And until enterprise embraces blockchain, everything else is pretty much all right. It'll be dwaddling throughout the way. So enterprise
Right.
blockchain coming up in the last 3 to 4 years, 5 years, we've seen a lot of use cases coming up, and there's a lot of uptick in the number of enterprise use cases. I'll give you a simple example of myself.
Okay.
Way back in 2020, 1920, I used to work. I have worked on about 12 use cases in the blockchain space. Today, I work in 57 different use cases. I'm talking about use cases, not talking
So,
about.
do you mind telling us a few?
Well, of course, let's talk about the easier ones which people understand. I think one of the major use cases is the eKYC, and there is a supply chain. I'm working on energy grids on the blockchain. We're working on the e-governance platforms. Healthcare is a major uptick. Supply chain, logistics, warehousing, agriculture. Agriculture is a real major beneficiary as well. And of
Right.
course, land titling. These are just some of them. There are many, many more. We can go on and on and on.
Okay.
Even charity, online gambling, power, utilities, each sector. I'm working on multiple projects within these. As of
Correct.
I'm working on more than overall globally, more than our team is working on more than 100 projects globally. That never
Correct.
was there about 3, 4 years back. We would be very happy if a project would come our way. Now we refuse projects at times because we don't have the bandwidth sometimes. And that's one of the key reasons we don't have great manpower. Biggest problem in the space.
Correct. Yeah.
So, I've seen that. I've seen the journey now evolve as more and more enterprise, more B2B players move into the system. Even when you have more adoption by people like PayPal, Visa, Mastercards, they're also coming into it. When we have the bigger names come in, recently we had a McDonald's going on NFT. We had the Starbucks NFT. We have bigger brands coming.
Starbucks coming in. Yeah.
So yeah, when the bigger brands start coming in, people start looking at the technology. It's just like,
Looking at right.
you're having a birthday party and suddenly Amitabh Bachchan walks into the birthday party. Everybody starts looking at everything. You just become
Right.
in the spotlight, and that's, I think, what's happening right now.
Correct. Right now. But okay. So, keeping this point that you stated, or there definitely has been a sustainable model of technology, but use cases have been evolving on a yearly basis.
Yes,
Correct.
yes.
I have been in this space for like almost 1.5 years now, and this is what I see. Where I agree to you, I have seen a shift where people have stopped just coming here to earn money, but for actually building something. Okay, like if I have seen like almost major companies building like 5 to 10 products in a year launching. Okay, and somewhere they are building the base or foundation of technology around this space. But I have this one question which actually has always intrigued me. um, why do we see that there is a larger portion of the younger generation involved in this technology rather than the people who are already in the industry? Because
It's a very, very simple thing. First of all, I think there are three critical reasons. I think if you look internally, if you do introspection,
okay.
we all as individuals, let's take the age group, put it aside for a moment.
Okay.
Do introspection. We all like to express ourselves, right? We all
Right.
don't like to be controlled, right? All of us. It's just that social norms keep us under control. Otherwise, we all like to express ourselves. We all like adventure. We all like to be living a little on the edge, not too much, a little on the edge. A little excitement must be there, right?
Right.
Now you bring that technology called blockchain right here. Blockchain gives us an expression. It allows us to
Correct.
express ourselves. It allows the youngsters to actually explore more, not worry about failure, not worry about whether it's going to do well or not. It lets you explore because it's a community-based technology. It is not.
Okay.
It doesn't belong to an institution where they'll say, "Oh no, you're doing something wrong. You're doing wrong." It's the community which comes and supports the individual, and that's what youngsters need. That they need
Okay.
that in a society, in an environment where we don't really get it in all. Oh, you have to get 90% in your boards. Oh, the hell, right?
Right, right.
Not there. And when you can express yourself, I think the younger generation really fits in beautifully. They have ideas, they have expressions, they come, they explore, they invent and innovate. I think that's one of the most important things. Look at me. I
Okay,
started learning at the age of 48 in 2010, right?
okay.
And I'm 60 years old now. But I always say I'm 25 with 35 years experience. I never feel old because it allows me not to feel old. Okay? It's a,
Right,
it's the best elixir of life for everybody. So for people like us who have been in the space for a long time or youngsters, there is no age barrier.
correct.
I think has become, and that's the reason why there's been an adoption. Otherwise, how do you think a Bitcoin, which has got no asset value behind and backing it, is still 17, $18,000?
Right,
Right? It's
right.
not. There is a community that supports it. It's individual. It's not your parents supporting it. It's not your organization which is supporting it. It's not your institution which is supporting it. It's a community, and the community
Exactly.
has no barriers, no boundaries. Very critical for today's youth. We don't believe in too much in boundaries. We don't believe in systems like, oh, this is great, castes, religion,
Correct.
stuff like that. This is an expression. I think blockchain is a self-expression which has come to the fore now, and that is the reason why it's becoming more and more mainstream, and a lot of youngsters in it. I'm very happy that youngsters are in it. I feel young.
Right. I actually, you wouldn't believe, during this week of, when we had the Indian Blockchain Week, where
Yes,
ETH India was happening, I met people of ages like 16, 17, and they're developing great stuff, like
exactly.
literally great stuff. And
That's
at that age, I was preparing for my board exams.
ah,
And I was like, okay, there's a very drastic shift in the way
yes.
education also comes in.
I
Okay.
know I mentor a lot of people, and the youngest one which I mentor, youngest person which I mentor is 14 years old. All
Oh,
right,
oh,
14 years old, and the oldest I'm mentoring is 68 years old.
wow.
So
Oh,
look at that scale: 14 and 68. Somebody older than me, and somebody lesser than my own kids. Right?
that's basically like 50 years. That's almost a half life, half human life.
Absolutely. It's
Right,
it goes right across. I think age is a perception. Age is not a barrier, and for
right,
the youth have embraced it because now they can actually ask everybody without feeling they're being judged. And I think that's very
correct.
important for any technology or anything learning. Otherwise, they're judged and then they always remain in the shell. I think blockchain is self-expression. It's a
Right,
back-end revolution for self-expression. Everybody can express themselves, no holding back.
right. So, but putting what we discussed right now on, how there has been like there is no age gap to it. Okay, everyone is in a learning phase currently, if I say. But here's what I have seen as, um, I would not speak, specifically for globally, but I'll speak specifically for India, where I have seen the amount of awareness is very less.
Hmm.
The amount of awareness, like, to be precise, you must know, just like there are only like around 2,000, 3,000 people who actually know what actually the product is, what actually the technology is,
Yeah.
correct? And then the awareness is actually somewhere I feel is pushed back, because not every colleges is trying to educate their students around that. That's one. Okay, we are possibly not having somewhere, like proper regulations on learning. I am not saying like regulating the technology or crypto or assets like that, but the education part of it. So somewhere I feel there is a lack of awareness which is actually being barricaded by education because it's not being given. So what do you think about that?
I completely agree with it. I'll give you a story. I'll tell you a small story.
Okay.
You know, in the during the bull run in 21, and
Right,
markets were going up, right?
right.
My LinkedIn connects, all of them who were in different spaces, suddenly became crypto experts. Ah, I said,
Really?
how did you become a crypto expert overnight? Anyway, doesn't matter. You become one. Doesn't matter. You read somewhere. Soon after the market crashed, now the same people, crypto experts, have now become Web3 experts.
Web3 consultants.
Exactly,
Yeah.
which is the biggest problem in our country. Biggest problem. We have a lot of fools pretending to be very good in this space and teaching stuff which is absolutely wrong.
Right.
Now that is one part. I was at just 3 days back. I was a speaker at an event, and somebody spoke about the metaverse. Okay,
Okay.
he was so called industry leader giving a talk on metaverse. He talked about everything in AR VR, but not a single thing which said anything about blockchain inside or an NFT or anything
Okay.
on DeFi. Nothing. So I asked the question. They didn't have an answer. I asked the question, what is the role of blockchain in your metaverse, for example? Now,
Right.
we are seeing 2D, 3D technologies in 2001. What's new in it? What's,
Hmm.
what's the big deal now? Metaverse is what? You get a little 3D experience. What else? Okay, where's the blockchain aspect? Where's the NFT aspect? Where is the decentralized
Correct.
aspect? He did not know. Another event in Bangalore, I asked the question, how many people of you in this room know Web 3.0? A lot of hands went up. I said, that's very nice. I said, okay, I asked 5 people to come up and said, each of you come here. Tell me what is the Web3 tech stack? Nobody could answer that.
Oh,
Wrong thing. Because if you don't know the web stack, what are you talking about Web3? Okay. We should just as well say, okay, let us understand. There's no harm in saying that I don't know and I'd love to understand. What is wrong in that? This is the big.
exactly. Yeah.
So one is lack of knowledge and one is half-baked knowledge. The two biggest problems we face right now. Half-baked knowledge is even worse
Correct.
than no knowledge because half-baked knowledge will give you whatever their version is of whatever they think it is. How does a person
Right.
suddenly become an expert in 2 years and 1 year and 3 years? How does that happen? Then in that case, we don't have a problem of any jobs in India. We will make everybody Web3 experts. The same Web3 experts can teach the unemployed people. We'll have no problems, right? So
Right.
just a way of thinking that so that's one thing. Lack of knowledge is the next, and the third thing, which is also a very big problem. There are some universities which have started programs in the blockchain space.
Correct.
Yeah, but there's a big caveat but out there. When they started drafting the curriculum, from that time till now, blockchain has moved way ahead. Unlike other subjects, blockchain evolves really rapidly because it's at a very nascent stage. So there's going to be a lot of dynamism, fluidity.
Correct.
So even if there are courses, they are almost outdated. Some of them are pretty outdated. One third, two third of it is almost outdated. So when the
Correct.
person comes up learning, oh, this is blockchain, his blockchain has moved way beyond that. So and Web3, nobody even really knows what is Web3. I'll be very honest. Okay.
Yeah, I agree to that. I totally agree to that.
Yeah. So the three problems remain: lack of knowledge,
Yeah.
half-baked knowledge, and obsolete, outdated courses, even by the highest ranked institutions. And who is teaching them? The professors. Where they got their blockchain knowledge from? A question nobody answers.
Yeah.
They are
That is
from
one.
different spaces who know a little bit about blockchain now and are now trying their best. I'm not saying that it's wrong. They're
Correct.
trying their best, but it's not going to work unless you have really good people teaching this technology because India has the talent, but India
Correct.
doesn't have the teaching talent.
Correct. Correct. So, see, somewhere, this is where I see this alliance because of what I see as the Web3 or the blockchain community. It's a very developer centric community.
Hmm.
It's a very technological community because people who understand this technology are more aware of what is going on here.
Hmm.
Okay, if a new product comes in or if a new use case comes in, they would be the first people to understand it better,
Absolutely.
right? And certainly where this is what I feel, when we let's say there might be a shift in educating or the way of educating the next 2 years or 3 years. This is what I would want to see, where the developers of these communities, let it be any developer based communities, Solana based, Solidity based, Ethereum based communities, they should come in, go to colleges, take workshops, launch courses, and parallelly build this. Because if they bring this, they have the knowledge from the basics, they understand that more better.
Yeah, they do. I agree with you. They have a problem. There's a problem there. You know what? The
Oh,
problem is not that they'd love to do that, but colleges don't pay money to them. Most of them,
exactly.
they're not very well paid. So that is the
Exactly.
problem. He would say, I'd rather do 1 hour of my programming and coding rather than go and spend 1 hour in a college and teaching guys who are not
Right.
going to pay me anything or pay me very little. That's a problem. You see, if that is not going to be bridged, You're not going to get the right people. You'll get some guy who knows a little bit, who maybe work 1 or 2 hours, or done a five
Correct.
an academic type of course and said, "Chalo, mujhe ye aata hai, solidity hai, ye aata hai." How can you learn solidity in 6 hours or 8 hours or 10 hours? If you could,
Correct. Yeah, six to
everybody
eight
can
hours.
do
Right.
that. If everybody does that, we'll have no problem. NASSCOM says we need 7.5 lakh more jobs by 2030.
Right.
Let everybody do an 8 hour course in solidity and start getting jobs. Why the hell? Nobody's going to get it like that. It's not.
Obviously not. Yeah.
That's one problem. The second problem is, one is a scarcity of resources, of teaching resources. The second is, even if I teach you something, I mean, I'm talking about
Mm-hmm.
a college or a student, where is he going to practice it? Where are the projects which he's going to work on?
Okay.
That's the biggest, because if you don't work hands on, how will you know you worked on blockchain? You could just might as well be doing work on Excel sheet. Who the hell cares? Right?
Correct.
Programming some Java or whatever it is. But where is the
Correct.
project? Where is the project which you actually get real world experience? Again, not there. Right?
Right.
That's the
Right.
next thing. I'm not saying it's. I'm not generalizing. In some cases, it is there. There are real good use cases also. But I'm talking about a general trend. The general
Correct.
trend
Correct.
is absolutely useless teachers, absolutely no hands-on projects, and third,
Correct.
student wants only one thing: ask us, sir, job milega.
That is the biggest thing. That is the biggest thing. But
Job
sir, I'll
milega.
tell you, this is a shift which I have seen in the last 6 months. I'll say, okay. Every new company, or every good company that is coming in now, who has an established product, or who are trying to actually build a established sustainable product, what they are trying to do is they're trying to do these awareness workshops or meetups or things like that, where they basically teach the attendees what is a technology. They make them use them on hands. So basically, I attended 2 3 events recently, and they were like on hands. They were like, "Yeah, use this product, log in here, do that," like basically going through the whole user flow, teaching them how to use the blockchain technology, and
Hmm.
then bringing that awareness. Do you think this is a sustainable model to build a community as well as awareness?
Yes, I think it's a good start. I would say, I will not say it's a bad start. It's a good way to start things. But I
Okay.
think at the end of the day, we require as many people in this space, as many mentors, as many guides in this space who have seen a lot of iterations of the blockchain technology. Now,
Correct.
we also don't want people, say a Solana, say a Hyperledger or an Ethereum, saying we are the best.
Right.
Okay,
Obviously not.
because they're all open. It's all open source. How can an open source all would be the same? Why would
Right.
it be? That's the thing. But what happens is, in countries like India, if you are doing something on, say, a Polygon, you'll say, "Oh, the rest is all useless. This is the best." If you are doing a Solana, the rest is useless. This is the best. Where is the
Correct.
interoperability? Why don't we work as a community? A community works together. We on paper say we work together. In theory, it does not work like this. I've been in the industry for 12 years. I've seen how it's done.
Okay, I guess there is internet lag. Um,
I'm still here.
right, and I guess there was a normal breakage, but yeah, it's totally fine. We can come back to what we were talking.
Yes.
So yes,
I'll
sir.
just use the last line I think we missed out. I say
Right.
that we need more holistic approach towards blockchain rather than a very
Okay.
convolution approach. And as communities, we can have a lot of interoperability of ideas, exchange of ideas. We need that. And the larger the community, the more it will support each other. Right now,
Right.
it's a drop in the proverbial ocean right now in India.
Right.
Yeah, back again. We are having some hide
Exactly.
and seek, a little hide and seek. No problem.
No, no worries. I guess we're fine now. I hope.
Right. So, yeah, more questions for me.
Right.
Tell me.
Okay. So, see, this is like okay. This is where I see where I agree to you on. Like, let's take if this is first and let's take a start towards building that awareness, building that education around this. But how do you see? Let's take the Indian ecosystem becoming more sustainable in the next coming 3 years, because it's a very nascent stage in India as compared to other countries. US has a little, I'll say they're level one, okay, in establishment. Okay, they're level one in establishment, and Dubai is still at, like, let's say they're trying to hit that mark of level one, but we are still at level 0.1, I'll say, where we are actually trying to go ahead. So, how do you see in India, trying to build that sustainable model in of that blockchain ecosystem?
Okay. Of late, I've been seeing in the last 1 year a lot of blockchain events happening. Hmm?
Right.
While it is a good step in the right direction to have events, but unfortunately, it has become very fragmented. So
Okay.
every everybody tries their bit in their little way, but again, it's very limited. They only take one part of it, and not it is not going across. It is just going in vertical. It is not going horizontal. Right.
Okay.
One of the things we need is to have a cohesive way of making these events value for whoever does attend. Also, using the technology that we have got now, we got about Web3, we talk about the metaverse. Can we not even host it in the metaverse so that people experience the metaverse in their
Exactly.
terms?
Oh, yeah, that can be done. Yes.
I just did it for we just did it for CII. You must have heard of the Confederation of Indian Industries. So they have a youth wing called Young Indians, and
Okay.
we told them you have a master class of the metaverse inside the metaverse, and we had global experts talk to them about the metaverse. Now,
Wow.
isn't it easier to actually experience and learn rather than just have a one-dimensional learning and say, "All right, in this event,
Right.
learning." So the same events can be broadcast live on the metaverse, right? I have a lot of access. I'm an advisor to many metaverses who would allow that for us, so that they're happy to help the ecosystem.
Right.
We can do that so more people. Now, if I'm in Bombay, I can't always visit an event in Delhi or a Pune or a Bangalore because I may have other
Correct.
commitments. But I can take out that 1 hour or 1.5 hours or virtually attend that inside the metaverse, meet people, talk to them, see the stalls, hear the speakers. That becomes more holistic. Slowly, I'm saying use the technology to bring in more adoption. Because if there's no adoption, there is no technology.
Correct. Correct.
All yarn, nothing practical.
हाँ, ऊपर ऊपर का ज्ञान.
How many people in the world who talk about the metaverse have actually been into the
Being
metaverse?
in the metaverse. Right.
Very few. And how many have even built a metaverse? Let's ask that question. The answer will
Right.
be an abysmally 0.0001% in this country, right?
Yeah. I 0.001. That is also too much.
Yeah. Oh,
The whole Indian community is 75,000 big. That is all.
that's it. That is not even in a population of 1.4 billion. If not even a
Yeah.
billion of them are in the blockchain space,
Exactly.
we are talking about a grain of salt in the sea,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. That's very less.
It's nothing. So we need to have more people understand each other and not have
Right.
competitions.
Correct.
We are about decentralization, distribution, about sharing knowledge. That
Yeah, but we
sharing
are
of
actually trying to
knowledge.
becoming centralized.
Everything is centralized. You're talking about decentralization and becoming centralized. That is the
Yeah.
biggest defeat of an ecosystem. Our ecosystem needs people, needs forums where everybody is allowed to share, be open and express, and the monetary consideration is kept at the back.
Correct. Correct.
That when you bring money into anything, you're gone. You can make it from your projects, corporate projects, and other
Exactly.
things. But awareness, why, guys?
Why? I totally agree to you.
I
This is
am
where the
totally against
biggest
the idea of
question actually
charging.
comes in.
Yeah, because then you have a very specific motive to earn money. It is not
Exactly.
to share information. That's my opinion.
No, but in continuation to this, there is this one biggest question that comes in, which actually everyone speaks about. but no one agrees to or follows it, which is like everyone wants to become a decentralized organization, or everyone talks about decentralization, but in actual, if you see, nothing is actually decentralized, because everyone's trying to centralize it to their community, to their
Absolutely.
needs, their products. But that is not, I think, how it works,
That's right.
right?
I agree. That's why I said we are working in verticals where we should be working
Vertically, right? We have to go horizontal, we have to expand
horizontal.
that way, right? but
I'm
but
not,
okay,
yeah, it's not going
if
to be an
you had
overnight
to,
thing. Yes, I have got plenty of ideas. We can probably discuss that later on. I'm doing a lot of things also. It has worked very
right,
well outside, and I'm trying to bring it to India also. But that's the idea of how communities work with each other instead of working in separate silos.
exactly. Right. But okay, if you had to, try solving these problems with one start, like let's say that is your first step towards, solving these problems, uh, what would you start with, or which part would you start with?
I would start with the awareness without the monetary consideration. I want to see how many people do that.
Okay.
Then you'll know who are really very seriously interested about the industry, not about their pockets. I'm not
Exactly.
saying you don't earn money. That I'm all for. I am all for earning money, but not for creating awareness. I don't.
Correct.
I don't agree to that. That's my personal opinion. A lot of people will say, "What is he saying?" Because इसके पास पैसा होएगा. I don't have.
Ah,
I have a different thing. Whatever we earn. By the way, just for your knowledge, whatever I earn, 75% of it I give towards charity. That is, we have a foundation which teaches youngsters free of charge blockchain, especially girls,
oh,
free of charge.
wow.
That is 75% of what I earn, and I'm on 50 boards. Plus, I'm working for government, so I do earn well. So, how many people can actually do that? Do you really need more than a certain amount of money to live?
No,
I,
obviously not. We,
I
we need a
suggest
sustainable life.
if you spend your time, your effort, and your resources, why do you wait for somebody else to give you a resource and then you'll teach? You do it yourself. No, walk your talk. Even if you can do one in a year, no
Exactly.
problem. One session, chalega. Do it free. Do everything free. When I say free, I see a create awareness free. Everything else can become a paid model afterwards, but at least
Exactly.
awareness, bring it free. The more the awareness, people should realize it'll bring better business to them in the long run, anyways.
No, I am in full agreement with you on this, because recently when I encountered a few good companies, they all wanted to, have sessions in different colleges, tell about the technology, work around that. Okay. And willingly, they willingly trying to, put that effort in to build that awareness. Okay. And that is where I see that if not a few companies, but all major companies also try doing it. Okay. Then possibly it can be a bigger, wave that will bring a mass adoption towards
Yeah.
this technology.
And all the chains which are there, everybody does their work of awareness. Polygon does, Hack,
Exactly.
all of them do, but they don't have a common standard or a common agenda.
Exactly.
Just if unless you have a certain standard in this or framework within which we will teach, it is always going to be a little bit biased towards what they are doing.
Right. Right.
That
Right.
is a little bit of a problem in my opinion. It can be made better. All should come together and say, well, one of the biggest thing is like IBA, we do a lot of awareness creation series. Right now, we are doing awareness creation right across Africa, right across Asia, right across many places. I get better response outside my own country, and I feel very ashamed and sad about that. I feel bad.
Oh,
I see Nigerian. I have a very big following in Nigeria, for example. They listen, they are aware, and they don't get clouded by what everybody in the world. There's a lot of noise in the world about blockchain. Everybody making different
right.
noise. But the biggest problem is, yeah. So in fact, there is a talk show in Nigeria called Block Talks by Raj. That's me. Okay,
Oh,
I do it free of charge for all Nigerians who wish to just understand blockchain. I don't charge anything, not because of anything. I mean, I'm happy to help out. It's just it's just for 40 minutes in a couple of in every 2 weeks.
correct.
Can I not spend 40 minutes speaking to people, sharing with them my knowledge I've gleaned over the last 12 years? Can I not do that?
Right.
Yes. So do that. And even all founders of all Web3 companies, they can also spend some time doing this
Exactly.
and creating awareness not about their product, no,
Obviously not
but
about
about
the,
technology.
exactly.
Because the more
Right.
people that understand the technology, the more people will adopt their product.
Right.
Has
Understood.
to be
Yes.
subliminal. It doesn't have to be direct and overt like this. It's not on your face. It's subliminal. Back, aram se, but
Huh.
awareness. Now bring everything together. We have created a forum, as I told you. In the forum, we bring everybody together and say, listen, let's create a common standard for training.
Hmm.
Let's create some common modules which everybody should know. Nice
Right.
to know, then must have, best to always must have. So we created a pyramid sort of a thing right in the fundamental,
Correct.
and that I think is working well. Right now, we work with more than 200 universities across India,
Oh,
colleges and
okay.
universities, spreading awareness, setting up centers of excellence without any money. We don't take a
Right.
risk. We help them get projects. Now, I think that is one step in the direction, not the ultimate step, but it's a good step in the direction, I feel, where at least
Right.
awareness along with experience on real projects work together. They understand better.
Right, right, right. But okay, just coming to almost the end of this great session that I had for you. This is just one question which I would ask. See, people don't trust the technology that much. Okay, they are still very skeptical.
Hmm.
The problem is awareness. Totally agree to that. But if let's say who are already in the industry, I have also seen people who are leaving the Web3 space because they just don't see that value at the end. Some way, I have seen such people.
Hmm.
What would you suggest for both kinds of people who are trying to sustain in industry, that is one, and people who are trying to enter the industry? How should they look blockchain as, that is one, and if they're looking blockchain as, let's take X, or at some perspective, what should be their goal towards this technology and taking this ahead?
Okay. First of all, you talk about trust. In today's world, sometimes the children don't trust their parents also for that. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start with that. Let's try at the societal level first.
Right.
But a technology can be trusted because the technology belongs to nobody. And especially a technology like a blockchain. That's why the education around blockchain is important. When you look at the pillars of blockchain or the basic fundamentals of blockchain, we talk
Correct.
about this intermediated, doesn't belong to anyone, distributed, shared by everybody,
Shared by everyone.
immutable, traceable. All these things, you don't have to trust each other. You can trust the technology. Okay?
Okay.
It becomes a single source of truth. Can you say that for any other technology? Can you say it for an AI, cloud, cybersec? You can't. They are great technologies for what they do, but they cannot
Correct.
become the platform of truth. Blockchain, by locking the data into an immutable state, becomes the single source of truth. So I don't have to trust you, you don't have to trust me, but I can trust the blockchain because it is decentralized.
Right.
Nobody's influencing it or hacking it. It's not a big four, big tech. None of those things. Google, Amazon are there. Data is distributed. It's your power. The power is with you. You decide whether you want to have that power. You can still remain in Web 2 and be comfortable. It's still going on since 2004. It is going on. Yeah, nothing wrong. Doing well. Or you want to move towards Web 3. Now that's again awareness, education, and intention, and the willness. Well, you have to have that will to move ahead and say, yes, I will embrace technology. We
Right.
embrace, we embrace everything from the West, right? Everything we have, whether I'm wearing a tie today, I'm wearing a shirt, it's a Western concept, right? We've embraced the West. We embrace the good thing from the West.
Correct.
Unfortunately, we also embrace the bad thing from the West. So let's try and sift it, have our own filter, and say, listen, I will embrace this technology. I will learn from there. I will better it. As an
Right.
individual, I have worked on I've made four public blockchains. You lose the fear after that. There is no fear. You trust the technology, you trust the community, you trust your mentors. Why do we have team games in corporates? Trust your employees,
Trust
trust your
building. Right.
now. Why don't you do that for technology? Trust your
Yeah.
technology. As it people talk about scams. The scams are not because of the technology.
It's because of
They're
the
because,
people.
they're because of the awareness is not that the people can be taken for a ride just now. So
Exactly.
people tell me, oh, it supports terrorism. I ask this question: was there no terrorism before 2008?
Okay.
People say, oh, money can be transferred, blah blah blah. It can be very nice. So was there no Swiss banks? Swiss bank has got all the funds of the world. Black money, was they say? So you cannot blame a technology for all these things. You can only blame your intention and how you're leveraging a technology.
Correct.
I can give you a hammer. You can either make a table out of it and start sitting on it. You can smash somebody's head with it. What you want to do? It's your choice. You have the tools. Technology will only give you a tool. It does not change a
Exactly.
heart. It does not change a mind. It's a tool. You have stones or bricks. You can either build a wall or you can
Right.
build a bridge.
Exactly.
So you decide. So when you if and most important, you trust yourself. What are you going to
Right.
do with
That
it?
is very important. Yes.
If you cannot trust yourself, who's going to trust you? Who's going to trust it? You can use
Exactly.
the technology or misuse technology. It's all perception. It's all
Yeah.
your way, how you come across it. I think people should lose the fear of exploring,
Right.
dabble with the technology at a smaller level, and slowly build up as their confidence grows. Any new technology
Exactly.
takes time to adopt, adapt, and then grow. Just like we do in anything else. Why not blockchain?
Okay.
Just dealing crypto for a bit for some time and think of it as a technology, just like
Technology
we.
rest.
That's it.
Right.
It's a great technology.
Okay. Amazing. That was, like, simply put, like, a very different opinion, or perspective, which I have heard in recent times, where actually it changes the way I think as well. Because when I entered the space, it was all about like trying to just see how it actually works out. But then I started entering to understand what how the technology actually works, why is it established in this way, and how does it actually help in enhancing other sectors, or bringing in more innovation. So yeah, that is where I totally agree to you. And thanks for that part of it. But yes, coming to our last segment, where we have a few questions which we have from the community, that we would put in front of you, which you can answer in your own best ways, right? So let's have the first question on the screen. Right. Okay,
What are
so
the
what are
next
the next phases for the
stages?
Web3 industry?
Okay, that's a good question because first of all, we all understand what is Web 1, Web 2, Web 3. Okay, we also know that it is really growing, etc. Good. I think the next phase which will come is not really Web 3 right now. There'll be Web
Oh,
2.5. A lot of us should
okay.
understand that also. I say why. What is Web 2.5? Let's understand that a little bit. So my question is basically what you said: the decentralized, autonomous, permissionless nature of blockchain. We all know that it'll require adjustments in the midterm before we actually take that leap into Web 3.0.
Okay.
Because right now we are in Web 2. Web 3 is very far off. We're talking
Right.
about Web 3, but it's really very far off. But there has to be a small, it's like two steps. One is here, one is here. We need that little step here for us to take
Right.
this leap here. We don't have that here. So what if I say what is Web 2.5? It is basically an intersection of Web 2 and Web 3. The
Okay.
ease of adoption will become much better if Web 2 and Web 3 is bridged by Web 2.5. Now, Web 2.5 is, when builders building with the blockchain technology stack and forcing on mass adoption rather than on proving the functionality of the blockchain. That is the big problem in Web3 or blockchain.
Okay.
Now, these builders should, in my opinion, adopt a very pragmatic solution of development and integrate Web2 features with Web3
Web3.
based
Yeah.
on market need, not on their need. Right now, the problem is they feel everything is this is the best. Wow, I'm making this for the great world. Oh, man.
Right.
Is it or not, you decide. And Web 2.5 will represent the rise of these startups, the next group of startups. I won't call it Web 3, I'll call it Web 2.5.
Correct. Correct.
Because if you don't have it, when with Web 2.5, what will happen? There'll be ease of access. These solutions will give users access to blockchain based functionalities without requiring any additional technical know-how. That's very critical.
Okay.
Second, the product and market fit. Developers will adopt a very smart approach to building a tech stack that balances two and three, will quickly find the product.
Correct.
They'll find the market. You need money, guys. You have to sell it. You have to bring to the market. Mass adoption. That's going to be there with that. The math and that brings us to the mass adoption. If you look at
Right.
it, back-end integration into the blockchain tech stack will then slowly bring about the mass adoption in Web 3.0. I would say Web 3 is a little far off. We haven't even thought of Web 2.5. So let's start thinking right now of Web 2.5.
do you feel building the infrastructure first would be a step towards heading 2.5?
Obviously, absolutely. It is the truth for every industry. Whether you take even a construction industry, you build the आप बोलते हैं नींव की ईंट, the foundation. Without the
Right.
foundation, how do you build the building, right? So all these are going to be critical factors. Infrastructure is going to be the most important thing, and they should focus on the very high impact areas of Web3, especially
Correct.
keeping in mind India. For example, TLT based governance services, that's going to be an area of a lot of, there's going to be a lot of action in that space. I see also local investments in global products. I also see India blockchain platform be an area for of interest in
Correct.
Web3. Financial penetration, but we also need a pool. I think startups need to focus on IP creation.
Correct. Correct.
Very important. Most startups don't even think of that till it's too late. Somebody else copies the idea. Very easy.
Ah, right.
Also, startups need to co-create with industries. They don't have to work in isolation. How much work have they done with industry to actually create that? Second, then education, of course, awareness has to be a very big thing.
Correct.
Corporates, the next biggest adoption, enterprise corporates, they need to incorporate Web3 into their strategic tech planning. It's not happening right
Okay.
now. It should happen. Very few companies are doing it. And they also need to align Web3 POCs,
POCs, right.
real business KPIs. They need to,
Correct.
because at the end of the day, the biggest customer is going to be either the government or a corporate.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Another thing, and see, all these are the players which are required. So you require startups, you require the corporates, you also require this academia. They have to have a proper Web3 curriculum.
Yeah.
And for that, they need to have really good experts to write the curriculum or deliver the curriculum. Not
Correct.
their own faculty. Sorry, guys, their faculty has not been exposed to it either from an industrial level or from an academic level. How are they going to teach?
Correct.
Theoretically, they will teach. Theory, if everything would learn in theory, then why we have practicals? Okay. So you have the startups, you have the corporate, you have the students, then you also have industry associations. Like we have one industry association, we try our best. We are trying to champion India, and that's why the India Blockchain Alliance, for example, we are championing the opportunity and drive more for policy standards. That's going to be very critical. And therefore, the Blockchain Governing Council plays a critical role along with IBA. We do a lot of work towards championing the cause for policy,
Correct.
regulation, standardization, taxation, frameworks. That's very important. And of course, without the government, none of this is going to be possible. The government also needs to have short term, medium term, long term policy direction, which
Direct. Okay.
seems a little asymmetrical right now, but it's going to come. They
Okay.
also need to drive the concept of sandboxes and sandboxing aggressively. Now,
Aggressively. Yes. Right.
RBI has it, but that's not the only one. RBI is not the only consumer of
Of
blockchain.
that. Yeah.
There are so many industries. I don't see the sandboxes there, guys.
Correct.
I don't see that, and that's a very big problem. And finally, we need investors to be educated on Web3 so that they can invest in good Web3 or Web 2.5 products.
Companies. Yeah.
That's because even if an investor is not informed, he's a traditional investor, he may overlook a great project, and the great project can die a
Right.
natural death if an investor and they don't have a mismatch. So they need to
Correct.
see usability, ease of use alongside technical sophistication. They need to see the scalability all the time. They have to promote the development of evolving blockchain based communities. Investors have to do more than what you and I are doing, actually. They need to promote blockchain based communities. That's my thing for this industry.
Exactly. Exactly. Like this is where I feel, like it should not be centralized towards fintech or only finance, because it can be actually adopted everywhere. Right.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that
Why
is how.
shouldn't it? Why shouldn't it be adopted? Because that's the space at the end of the day. And if you basically again understand the 4 5 principles of Web3,
Right.
focus only on that and build infra around that. So what are the 4 5?
Right.
One is the decentralization aspect, adopt it well, understand blockchain well. Second,
Yeah.
open source, it should be completely Web3 tech, and the complete, it's an evolution, it's basically an evolution. It has also got to be open source. That's very important.
Right.
It has to be, the composability has to be easy because that's a natural feature of blockchain. And that's important in the Web3 growth. Digital trust must be coming in. Without digital trust, there's not going to be any Web3 or anything else. The
Correct.
then the architecture has to be beautifully distributed. Actually, distributed architecture is just the typically opposite of a typical client server model. Completely different. It's just the opposite. So a very
Exactly.
high performing distributed architecture will enable actual peer to peer networks on the blockchain. That is very critical. The architecture, and of course, the autonomous transactions will play a very major role. I think if
Right. That is definitely a
these
very
are
important
addressed
factor.
first, these should be addressed first. This is the third generation, and we are looking
Right.
at Generation Z to be the one major movers in this space.
Exactly. With that, like I guess somewhere the second question would align to what we were actually, talking. It will, continue that. So let's have the second question on the screen as well.
So, what your second question says? How can one
Okay.
establish a sustainable Web3 company in 2023? Okay, that's a very good question. Sustainability, first of all, and I always stress on this. All
Right.
of us, a lot of Indians, we're very, very good in the Web2 stack. Okay, if you want to have a sustainable business, please try and understand the Web3 tech stack. Now,
Okay.
the web, and I'm repeating this because it is very critical for all those who are we're all in Web two. More or less, everybody's in Web two right now.
Right.
So there are basically three main layers: the base layer, which has nodes and protocols; the dApps and smart contracts; the crypto wallet base layer
Right.
that uses Web two ISPs and all, and web browsers. So these are the three things you need to know. That's for sure. And what do you need to? Let me give you an example. If you look at the access point layer, how do you access it? You just now told in the beginning of this, please connect to your wallet, correct? So the access point layer, understand that first. The MetaMask, the Phantoms, and all the other different wallets which are there. Which are the new browsers there now? Brave, Firefox, all moving towards.
Exactly.
These are the access point. The exchanges are access point. NFT market spaces like One Planet, OpenSea. These are the access point layer. Then
Correct.
come to the application layer. First, look at the
Okay.
DeFi part of it. Compound, Uniswap, Aave, all these are part of the DeFi ecosystem. Then look at the application layers. So one is the DeFi, one is the entertainment side. That's a lot of fun. Sandbox, Axie Infinity, Decentraland, Metaverse,
Yeah.
all of them. Then you look at the communities like Bankless
Oh.
DAO, Developer DAO, Flamingo, Index, a lot of
Yeah.
them. Then let us shift to protocol layer, L1 blockchains.
Okay.
Bitcoin, understand Bitcoin, Ethereum, things like Avalanche, things like that. There are many BNB chain. Of course, there are many more, but I'm just giving some of them. Then below that, and not so below that, or alongside that, understand the scalability solutions like Polygon, Optimism. Look at the bridges like Spherium Finance. Look at those. And finally, we have the infrastructure layer. So while we have the
Okay.
access point layer, we have the application layer, we have the protocol layer, then we have the infrastructure layer.
Okay.
Infrastructure like Alchemy, Blockdaemon, that's infrastructure. That's the focus now. There are very few players in that space. Focus there.
Okay.
Very important after that is the security and audit because all becomes useless if your security and audits fail.
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
chain analysis, Open Zeppelin, these are great platforms. And then
Right.
of course, wherever you have Web3, you're also going to have oracles. Look at Chainlink, Arweave, IPFS, all these are going to play a very critical role in
Very
Web3.
important role. Right.
So
Right.
you, as this is what to answer the second question, if you got these, if you master these, that's when you're going to go into the next phase. Otherwise, you'll be swimming in a swimming pool, never reaching.
Right. No, I guess this is a very important question, which I guess not only those who are already working in the space need to understand, okay, but also everyone who's trying to enter in the space as well, like we discussed earlier, right?
Yeah,
But definitely, I see, like today, what discussion that we have had has been very, more. It has been going through like basics, but in a very very distinct manner, very explanative manner, okay, where we're trying to understand it from an inch by inch, a particle by particle, that sort, right?
yeah,
And that is where people also need to think, where it's not about only a hoax that this is a new technology or Web3 something out of the world thing, or I have seen people who think like, oh, Web3, I don't know what that is. It's just like a change of technology or tech stack. And
it's like you becoming from 12 to 13. Suddenly, you become a teenager.
exactly,
Yeah, you have to undergo some changes, but then you're a teenager.
right.
Right.
And
That's
that is where, like we spoke about awareness, education, how it has to, change the way people perceive the technology, as well as which how it can be used as a mass adoption towards various industries. So like this, I guess we have tried to cover major aspects of the learning phase of what Web3 is, and what can happen beyond Web3 as well. Okay, and that is where Raj sir, I'd like to ask how has your time been in the past 1 hour? Okay, how do you think it has been for you to bring out that knowledge every time when you come on stage on the screen, and how do you feel about how to go ahead with this?
All right. I enjoy speaking on this subject basically because the more I speak on it, the more people can get more awareness around it. So
Exactly.
in this year, this event probably is my 143rd event, virtual and real. So
Okay.
if I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it. Okay, and
Right.
I don't charge anything for anything, right? Whether it is on virtual, whether it I have to go. But bottom line is, I do it because I know that somebody has to be a flag bearer. I'm trying to be one of the flag bearers for the technology, and I'm
Right.
going to keep doing this, keep doing this, keep doing this till I have my boots on, and till the time I always say I'll never retire. I'll always die with my boots on, as they say. And I'm sure the torch will be taken on by a lot of youngsters like you and so many others who are there. I've got a Telegram group of 32,000 people. Okay.
Oh.
Most guys, my social, if you see all my IBA social networks, more than 100,000. So I have actually done something, otherwise, I wouldn't be. So I will still do that. I will continue doing that, and I'm continue doing it free of charge. And all who listening can reach out anytime. I'm happy to help. I don't charge. Okay, I charge the big boys who have the money. Don't worry, I charge. Yeah,
No, no, definitely. But like I totally agree to that. Like I can say this, like when I reached out to Sir was very, like totally upfront with helping us out with trying to establish this particular event, and we're also trying to work with Sir on various grounds as well and verticals as well. But yes, definitely I see that there have to be people in the industry who actually not only tell people about what's happening, but also how to go ahead with it, or how to proceed in the direction. Correct. And with that, I just would want to focus on one more a particular point which you have actually emphasized on a lot, where we see that definitely getting opportunities in this field is very it's not that easy. It may be that people are not aware of the technology, so getting into the industry is also that tough, which somewhere I our platform actually is providing that, right? So how do you see that coming into the picture with our platform, as well as a generic space?
see,
And with that, then we'll end up this today's
yeah,
session.
sure. I think what platform you guys are having is a great because everybody can come to one platform and get a whole lot of stuff right in one place instead
Exactly.
of going to multiple places, searching multiple portals, multiple sites, asking multiple people, asking multiple experts who know nothing about blockchain.
Right.
It's a good thing. Wherein there is credibility, there is a singular platform because you already are working with some companies, and these are all in the blockchains, DLT space, Web3 space. That along with I'm happy anytime to mentor anybody who would like to get mentored in this space. And as I told you,
Right.
free of charge. So don't worry, reach out to me anytime, guys. Hmm? And
Oh no,
I'm
I can vouch for that. I can definitely vouch for that. Like, definitely do reach out to Sir, because that's like see, it definitely, you see that vibe that coming in, where someone is actually genuinely trying to put out that effort. So yeah, definitely everyone, please reach out to Sir.
yep,
And yeah,
reach out. And
you were saying.
anybody, if you're a founder or a startup and need help, let me know. If you are a student and want to see direction, let me know. There are great platforms like Lakshya's Record. I saw that a really nice platform. Before that, I didn't even know it existed, but I'm so happy I got to know about it. So I think
Right.
all these things, slowly, all the moving parts, when they start coming together, slowly but
Right.
surely, that is a great thing. It's just like cake. You have so many
Right.
ingredients. Individually, they're all tasteless, but when you
Started.
put
Yeah.
them together, you get a beautiful cake to eat. And I'm going to
Right.
eat that right after this because I'm hungry now like hell.
Definitely, definitely, sir. So thank you, sir, for today.
Yeah,
I really am thankful for you taking out this time for basically explaining and bringing out that knowledge that you have been giving out already at various places, and to our community and people in India as well, and across the globe, definitely. So with that, I thank you, your team, and all initiatives that Indian Blockchain Alliance is actually taking. Uh, efforts towards bringing the technology to the upfront. Any last words or any last message that you would want to give?
I have one last words for everybody. There was a movie which I saw when I was a kid. It inspired me so much that till today I tell that to all my people. It was called Where Eagles Dare. So I
Okay.
I stepped into in a very alien technology, and I come from a non-tech background, mind you. Best part.
Okay.
But I today can code in 18 languages, so don't worry about that aspect. I made for Blockspace. Where eagles dare means you as individuals step into those places where only eagles dare. The eagle flies the highest. Other birds never reach there. Be the eagle where eagles dare. That's where you should be. And blockchain is that one such technology. Go and dare to dream, and then go where only eagles dare. That's my concluding thought.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for bringing out the time. I'll meet you soon in just like 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, amazing. So I hope everyone had a very, enriching, enthusiastic, and very enlightening experience today. And I'm sure today's masterclass was a great learning curve for you, because it was definitely for me. And I really appreciate your participation towards, listening, coming to the platform, and using a product, and actually listening to what Raj sir has put out, which somewhere I feel has been a very important learning for me, because every event that I do, every event that I host, there is a different kind of perspective and understanding which I usually have learned. Let it be in the technological space, or the events that we did across communities, DAOs, gaming, governance. But today when I had a conversation with Raj sir, it is something which was a mix of all, where I get knowledge of horizontally but not vertically, like Raj sir mentioned. And with that, I would like to express my gratitude towards Raj sir and their team to take out their a very good amount of ample time to come and discuss and have this great session on talking about what is going to actually be a sustainable future for Web3 and beyond that. Okay, we at Recurum, are ready to give all the best efforts to bring that knowledge and expertise from the industry to you. So let us know who you would want to have as the next guest speaker. Okay, we have an amazing Twitter space coming in this week, so be ready for that. That is one. I'd again remind you that please, if you're watching this particular stream from anywhere across let's say LinkedIn, Twitter, or YouTube, jump on to the Recurrent product, connect your wallet, log in. You would see various opportunities to which you could apply to, and definitely you could also claim an proof of attendance protocol NFT, which you can use as an early adopter NFT for yourself, and have and keep a small memory from today's event. So with that, I hope you had a great time today. I definitely did. So I'd like to take your leave now. This is Lakshya Mittal signing off. Thank you.